responsible students on campus. He is truly reliable and very hardworking. Chris, who is a communications major, is an individual dedicated to hard work. He has taken on numerous responsibilities at Dean. He is a program director of the college radio station. He works in the IT department, and he also works as a technician at WBZ-TV in Boston. And he has taught television production to high school students. Chris takes his work very seriously and can be seen daily wearing a dress shirt and tie around campus. He's very easy to spot. Just don't talk to him about politics unless you have a few hours. He sets a standard not only for the communication students, but for all students here at Dean. Chris is always ready to help. For the past 2 years, he's been part of the on-air crew of our very popular morning radio show. The radio station has come to rely on him to make sure programming runs smoothly, and he's a great problem solver, the real go-to guy. We've been lucky to have Chris here at Dean and are thrilled that he will stay with us for another 2 years as one of our first students in our new Bachelor of Arts program in Arts Management. And now, please welcome Chris Perry.
Good afternoon. There are many things I never had the opportunity to do in high school. And had I not come to Dean, undoubtedly there are opportunities that would have been lost as well. Perhaps the greatest of those would be my opportunity to speak before all of you today. Thus, it is my esteemed pleasure to welcome the Board of Trustees, the class of 2007, and all of those in attendance today. My experience here, like so many others, is a collection of moments. Moments of happiness, sadness, or in some cases, sheer terror. One such memory of terror comes to mind off the top, my first day in pre-calculus. The professor walked into class dragging his wheelie backpack. Paused for a moment on the way as he was going by the class, examined us as though we were specimens in a biology experiment, and then proceeded to introduce himself, making sure we could pronounce his name both forwards and backwards, and finally saying that he will address us by our last names only. He began to rummage through his backpack, and if I may, he's looking for the syllabi, but before they come out, first appears megaphones. They're absolutely phenomenal. After that, squeaky bike horn. Wonderful. And finally, my personal favorite. Whoops. The hat from Canada. I knew immediately that this would not be your normal pre-calculus class. But I'll be damned if we didn't learn. And this is the nature of our beloved Dean faculty. They may be an eclectic group of free-thinking individuals, but they all love to teach. And they will go to any extreme necessary to ensure that we all learn something. From the 12 digits of pi to the 43 presidents of the United States, all the way to basic first aid, we all learned something, and in most cases, enjoyed it. This next story is sad, but not sad in the melancholy sort of way, sad in the pathetic sort of way. One of the guys next door decides on a Wednesday night that it's a good idea to go visit his ex-girlfriend at school in Chestnut Hill. So he takes the train and goes to visit. Mind you that any time exes see each other immediately after a relationship has ended, as is our case here, more often than not they engage in what I call the standard college post-relationship response. We'll simplify this and call this SCPRR. Generally this consists of some sort of verbal argument included, but by no means limited to mean remarks about the other's parents, sorry mom and dad, and repent of previous dates. By the time they're done engaging in our SCPRR, it's 10 o'clock and he's stuck in Chestnut Hill. He's already missed the bus train back to Franklin. He calls my roommate and myself up, and we quickly organize a team to go out and retrieve him, while I stay behind just in case they got lost. You know the rest of the story, they got lost. I learned a couple of valuable lessons that night. First, never give directions to someone who couldn't find their way out of a paper bag. No matter how hard you try, they are still going to get lost. Second of all, never under any circumstances should you ever go and visit an ex-girlfriend, or boyfriend for that matter, especially if you don't have a way home. But most importantly, I learned that you need a support structure if you're going to make it in this world. You'll need the friends who will take care of you when you need them the most. And you need the family to take you to the hospital when you sprain your ankle and end up on a cane for the next 3 months. Oftentimes it is these family members, the moms, the dads, the grandmothers and fathers, aunts, uncles, or the in-laws who will come and get us when we get stuck on Chestnut Hill. These people have supported us financially for the past 4 or 2 years, depending, and we are very grateful for their support. At orientation, Dr. Paula Rooney, the president of this institution, said, "Someone, somewhere is making a sacrifice for you to be here." Today, many of those people are here, celebrating their sacrifices, as the reward is so much more sweet. For some, our time at Dean has been about an education. For others, it was about the social aspects. Still further, it was about creating opportunities that we may have never had otherwise. I hope that this experience has built your collection of moments into a kaleidoscope of lifelong learning, forming many memories that we may cherish, many lessons we may have learned, but most importantly, many new pathways to growth. Thank you, and good luck.
For a minute there, I thought he was going to make a liar out of me saying he was the most responsible student on campus. But I will use this in the future. Thank you, Chris. That was great. Now we will be treated to a musical interlude by one of our most talented singers, performing the song Astonishing from the new musical Little Women, as Jo sings her goal to be astonishing in her life and accomplish great things. Please welcome Tyler Leonard.